In order to solve the problem, let's first start with the step 1. State the null and alternative hypothesis. So, the HO is equals to 112 and HA is greater than 112. Next step is to identify the level of confidence and the appropriate test statistic. The level of confidence is A is equals to 0.05. The hypothesis test is directional, or a right-tailed because the symbol is greater than. And the test statistic is t-test. T-test because the random sample, or the n, is less than 30. Step 3 is to determine the critical region. Since the test statistic is t-test, let's use this formula. T, copy the symbol greater than df over A. First, so let's find the df, or the degree of freedom, which is equals to n minus 1. The problem says n is equals to 25. So 25 minus 1 is equals to 24. So therefore, the df is 24. And the A is given in the problem as 0.05. By using the t distribution table, let's locate the df, which is in the left side of the table, and the A is on the upper side of the table, and the intersection would be the answer. So the intersection is t is greater than 1.711. Let's move on to step 4. Compute for the t value. Using this formula, t is equal to sample mean minus population mean over the standard deviation over the square root of n. Substitute. The sample mean is 114, while the population mean is 112, over the standard deviation of 15 over the square root of 25 is equal to 0.67. Step 5. Determine whether to accept or reject null hypothesis. Since the critical region is 1.711 and a positive, so the shading part is on the right side. And the t value is 0.67. Since the t value does not reach the critical region, therefore, HO is accepted. Since the Step 5 is to determine whether to accept or reject null hypothesis. Since the critical region is positive 1.711, so the shading part is on the right side. And the t value is equal to positive 0.67. Since the t value does not reach the critical region, therefore, the HO is accepted, since the computed value of t is not within the critical region. And the last step is to state the conclusion. Since the null hypothesis is accepted, therefore, the conclusion is there is no significant that the students in his school are above average intelligence. In order to solve the problem, let's first start with the step 1. State the null and alternative hypothesis. So the HO is equal to 1.0. Step 3 is to determine the critical region. Since the test statistic is z-test, use this formula. Z, copy the symbol less than ZA over 2. First is to find the critical value of the given A. So A is 0.5 or 5%, and the critical region or the corresponding critical region of 5%, which is 95%, is equal to 1.96. So Z is less than 1.96. We will use negative sign, which is negative 1.96, since the symbol we use is less than. Step 4 is compute for the Z value. Let's use with the formula of Z is equal to sample mean minus population mean over the standard deviation over the square root of n. Substitute. Sample mean is 140 minus the population mean of 100 over the standard deviation of 15 over the square root of n, which is 30, is equal to 14.621. Step 5. Determine whether to accept or reject null hypothesis. Since the critical region is negative 1.96 and the sign is negative, so the shading part is on the left side. And the Z value is negative 14.61. Since the Z value reaches the critical region, therefore, the HO is rejected. Since the computed value of Z is within the critical region. Step 6. State the conclusion. Since the null hypothesis is rejected, therefore, the conclusion is there is a significance that the raw cornstarch has effect and has a mean of sugar level less than 140. Step 1. State the null and alternative hypothesis. So the HO is equal to 6,800 and the HA is not equal to 6,800. Step 2. Identify the level of confidence and test statistic. The level of confidence is A is equal to 0.05 and the hypothesis test is non-directional, or it is a two-tailed problem. And test statistic is z-test since the given random sample is greater than or equal to 30. Step 3. Determine the critical region. Since the test statistic is z-test, we use this formula of z, copy the symbol, not equal to ZA over 2. The given A is 0.05 or 5%. And the corresponding critical region is 95%, which is equal to 1.96. So therefore, Z is not equal to 1.96. Step 4. Compute for the Z value. We will use this formula. Then substitute to 6,870 as a sample mean minus 6,800 as a population mean over the standard deviation of 400 over the square root of n, which is 1,000, is equals to 5.53. Determine whether to accept or reject null hypothesis. Since the critical region is 1.96, and since this problem is a non-directional or two-tailed, so there are two critical regions, in a positive side and a negative side. And the Z value is 5.53. So therefore, HO is rejected since the computed value of Z is not within the critical region. And lastly, step 6 is to state the conclusion. Therefore, there is a significance that the sample mean of the Michigan per student per year is greater than 6,800.